Hi guys, it's June. I'm gonna tell you guys something about myself. So basically in the past I have told you guys about this previous guy that I knew, and he came and gave this really demon energy, and he is a demon, which I'll do in another video. But today I just wanted to share that I actually have a few traits of narcissism, and I just find that it's incredibly a very interesting thing that I found out. But also, I wanted to share with you guys about how I felt like I was a special person to this previous demon guy, because I felt like he was just coming at me. He was like, "You are a narcissistic idiot," and I'm just like, I do not know like labels a lot, and I tend to not know what it means like about certain labels, like, and I tend to see like people who just insult people, like, and calling people like these names, and always say like, just, if something is wrong with someone, they will just be like, oh, you have this mental health disorder and stuff like that, oh, you need to be locked up in a mental health institution, a psych ward, and just feel like, do you know how offensive it is to people who are in the psych ward, to people who are diagnosed with a mental health disorder? This is what I do not like about people nowadays, because they just say what they want without even thinking that it offends people. But I'm just still like, because I knew the demon guy was definitely just a huge problem in my life, and he tried to destroy me and how I looked at myself in a healthy way. And I'm just still like, he is just what, like, one really problematic guy, and I'm glad he's out of my life. But he was just giving me this importance of a label of a narcissistic idiot, and I did not know what it was. And for a long time, even after he had left me, because he basically left me for a while, then he came back into my life, but now he's out of my life. I thought that I was really a covert narcissist. And I thought like I was just reading about it. And I thought like, is this really me? Or maybe I relate to it. But after all, because I do know that people actually have a lot of like symptoms of a mental health disorder, but they do not meet the actual five symptoms to meet the actual disorder and to be diagnosed by a psychiatrist. So basically, I'm also really wary not to tell people that I really am a label, because it will really not, be okay, because people really suffer from it, like the actual disorder. So I'm just to tell you that he was amazing to label me as that. And I feel special, because after all he insulted me about, like, I was just like, okay, wow. But for me, I think it's wow, because people with narcissistic disorder, I think narcissism is actually a good thing. Like, people have healthy narcissism and stuff like that. Like, people know like what they want, and and just, people deserve to feel like happy. People deserve to feel like they are loved. And for me, I still struggle with that, but I show like signs of narcissism. And I actually think that I'm a very like considerate person. I will always think of myself as, I feel like I will look at myself, I like how I look, I like how I am, I'm comfortable with who I am, and I think I'm beautiful, and I'm just really just all about myself. But the thing about being a narcissist is that, because I'm like really self-absorbed with myself, and because, I'm definitely not someone who, is just like, I don't know, I know how to relate to people, and that is like a really huge problem, because literally, like, I would want to meet someone, but I do not know how to relate to them. Like it can be like completely silent, and there are times where I just, I feel really clueless and awkward, because I don't know what to say, and that person doesn't know what to say. And I'm just, and it's always that I always talk about myself, and people don't really talk about themselves, which I find really weird. But then also, when I talk about myself, it's like really just nobody wants to hear that. And maybe that is why people tend to leave me, because I'm aware that I always talk and I'm really loud, and that's probably why they left me. It's just not a really nice thing to have in someone, because it always feels like everything is about that someone, and that's just how I am, like, always just about myself. And it's not really, a very like nice to be around myself. And yeah, and I basically also have like this like thing where I really have a very high standard, and I don't think anybody can have like you know, I feel really entitled. I feel like I would want is a perfect partner, and also, you know, just like someone that is nice for me. But I, you know, obviously, like I feel like I'm above everyone because I feel like nobody can meet that. And I think that, yeah. So basically, and I just love attention from people. That's why I love TikTok, because I go there, I see bearable, nice looking man, just like bearable, like okay, like you seem nice to look at. So I follow them. Usually they are just like people like with a lot of followers, and I'll just watch them go live, and I just like to like talk to them, or like make them like, you know, like give some like attention to me. I really love it, and I really can't find any normal guy that's like on the street, on an app or anything. I did have one time that a random guy just walked past me and say, "Oh, you are beautiful," or something like that, and I was just like, I was a bit kind of like, what is that about? But he just walked past me, and I'm like, yeah, and I was just going to work, and I'm just like this year, I'm just like totally like, yeah, I'm just like such a new person, because last time in the past few years I wasn't like this, because I really do admit that I struggle with like feeling, you know, adequate. Like sometimes I do feel like that, but I feel like not like this year I have like a whole strength of like liking myself a lot. And yeah, so like basically like last time, like ever since I was in like in the, you know, just like in schooling years, like I basically was just insulted, I was bullied, like people didn't like me, and people just criticize me about how the way I dress, or like people leave me out from like friend groups, and eventually I was like asking them like, okay, why don't you invite me in? And after they invite me in, I was like, nah, because you know, I don't see a reason why I should join them, because I already know that they don't like me. And I'm a bit like really just like I think on myself like really highly now. But last time, because of like environmental things, like I was just like, you know, I should try, but then I always knew that, you know, it's like I was trying to be like to just be in that circle, but I realized that they don't really like me, and my probably I was just trying to like go in and fit in, but obviously I knew, because you know, like if someone doesn't really like you, someone just like gives you the wrong vibe, then I think it's just like I couldn't care. But yeah, so, and also because of that, because of who I am, because I don't have to relate to people, I feel like I can't really like someone like in an intimate sense. I don't have any uh boyfriend at all before. I don't have any like intimate relationships with people, like maybe dating or relationships, or like, you know, any of that intimate sense or bond. Because for me, I always say I do not associate myself with anybody. I just be like myself. Like I think I have a lot of issues. I admit that I can get really unstable mentally. So I do not like, you know, I do not like think that other people are like, I just want to focus on myself. Like people are just there, like okay, fine, I can meet you and stuff like that, but I want to always focus on myself, because I know that I have issues, and when I go out with other people, I might just pour out everything that's like troubling me. So it's like, you know, it's very not okay for them, because they would just feel annoyed, like why are you always talking about yourself, like eventually like nobody cares, because like my issues aren't anybody else. Like people like might support, but for me, I know that I can't really fix my issues, so I'm just still alone. And just like, yeah, and I do feel emotions, but I just think I'm not genuine, or other people are ungenuine. Like for me, I just think that people are just there, but like I feel like, I guess because I'm too bogged out about my mental health issues, I don't really care about them. So, and I never really think anybody cares genuinely. Like for me, like I am facing a lot of issues that nobody can fix, so it's kind of understandable why I behave this way, because I know that people go to other people for support and it's true, but I really have like issues that I only have to sit alone by myself. And yeah, and basically, yeah, I'm quite uncaring in that sense. Like I don't really care about you or stuff like that. So basically, for me, I'm always like, I feel like I'm always most of the time alone. It's not that I do not have like friends. Like I do meet people, but for me, I'm just like always about myself. When I'm with myself, I just care about myself. And so kind of read up that like for like the, about how people become really narcissistic, like the actual people who are diagnosed, is because the parents give them like lack of attention or just too much attention. And I think my parents are like that. Like when I was really young, like I just felt like I was really troubled because my parents were always working, my siblings were schooling, and I was just the youngest child, and like they couldn't really take care of me, and I do not blame them at all because understandable. But like literally, like even the caregiver wasn't taking care of me properly, and I just got really weird, like fined here and there to try to eat weird stuff, which is not really food. But after a while, I already knew how to take care of myself, but it just took a really slower time. But my parents were okay, but then also because I had childhood trauma, and because my relationship with my parents aren't really good. So basically, I feel like that, because when a parent try to really like, just like put all the attention on yourself, it's really very kind of like very, you know overwhelming for the child. Like your child is a person, it's not someone that you can just like see as a toy or something that you want to make this child into something they're not. So it's really very, yeah. And also because of the lack of like attention, because I was also kind of neglected, and yeah. But I also remember they did take care of me, but it's like only one time, because when I was a child, I really just didn't really, just care that about myself. I was just kind of having a breakdown because I did have trauma, but my parents were not really good in that sense to take care of me. So now I'm just like, okay, like I'm an adult, I'm trying to, obviously I know how to cook for myself, I know what to do and stuff like that, but I'm just still like, I think maybe that is why people are narcissistic. But for me, narcissism is actually healthy. People have a healthy level of narcissism. So for me, I'm just having a lot of symptoms of that. But in general, I think I've seen people with a lot of confidence, and I wish I was just like them, because I still, as myself, do struggle with that, because I really, kind of like struggle with like criticisms and stuff like that, and I do not know how to handle it, because whenever someone says something to me, I really think that it's just wrong, and I do not know how to handle it. Like I feel like, okay, I did something wrong. I'm not good in the eyes of this person, and I can never change their opinion. So yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard for me, and I do not know how to confront myself. But also because of my past experiences with, the guys that I have liked and I've talked about, it actually really does bruise my ego. I'm pretty sure a man has ego, but also for me, I'm a girl and I do have an ego. I think it's like really bruised. But for me, I never. That's why I just love to seek all this attention from TikTok stars, or just from, just public figures who are just up there. And I, because I really can't, I don't like having a, like a really cool someone like next to me, like a, just in an intimate way. So I seek attention in other ways. Like I just like it. So basically, what I'm telling you guys about is just some symptoms of narcissism, and I'm not diagnosed. So I'm just saying that I do have some of the symptoms, and I'm just wanting to share because I feel really special that someone who really hated me and wanted to destroy me, the previous guy who just labeled me as that, is a narcissist. To me, it's an incredible thing to have a lot of confidence. I see a lot of people who have a lot of confidence, and I want that, but an idiot is not who I am. I always think we're all smart, no one is dumb. And my mom was just a classic example of how she would just criticize myself and my intelligence. But what can I do? I was a child, I do not know what to do. Means I don't know what to do. I don't really care. Like I can't just suddenly be like a better version of myself. I just didn't care. And obviously I just think we're all smart, we're all trying to survive, we're all trying to live. And I think people who just are like, I hate people who think they're above than others, which is weird because I might give out the vibe that I'm above others, but there are always worse people out there that I see that I just think that I can't handle them at all. So yeah, I'm just showing you guys this like narcissism because I felt like I was so special to this guy that hated me and wanted to destroy me. Always see yourself in a very good light, and if people try to like bring you down, they are just very terrible people. Like, you are such a worthy person, and you aren't like gonna be like changing for someone who just wants to see another version of yourself that isn't you. And you are going to always be yourself your whole life because that is the thing that you are most comfortable with.